Okay, let's go. So here we are, Baruch Hashem. Our Gemara Shabbos here started a new parak. Everyone's welcome to join us for Blezer the Mila. Blezer the Mila, 19th parak, all about Bris Mila and beyond. Bris Mila and Shabbos. This year is Le'ulu Nishma Savimori, Menachem and Akiva, for the Hatzloch of Klal Yisrael, the safe recovery and the release of all the hostages and everybody else who is where they're not supposed to be. So we said in the Mishnah, we brought down the opinion of Rabbi Lezer. Rabbi Lezer believes that if a knife of a milah was not brought before Shabbos to the place of the milah, although it's only hechsher mitzvah, it's not the mitzvah of milah, it's only preparation to bring the knife, that too pushes away Shabbos. We're going to see the Makoros later, Be'ezus Hashem. The Makoros are many in this, but the Perek deals a lot with Makoros in general. And then the Mishnah said, I'm quoting the Mishnah, Rabbi Lezer omer lo yavi kli me'erev Shabbos, mevio b'Shabbos. You're allowed to bring the kli, the knife, on Shabbos. Megula. You have to bring the knife when it is exposed and uncovered. Ubesakona mechasel pi edim. If it's a time of sakona where the government does not allow you to perform bris milah, so you can't walk around the street with a knife uncovered, and you have to cover it al pi edim. What's the purpose of al pi edim? So first of all, we said two things yesterday. I'm summarizing yesterday's stuff. First of all, the reason to bring it megula is double purpose. Not only you have to show that let's say you're the mohel, you forgot to bring the knife, you're bringing the knife from your house all the way through Shus Rabim, you're breaking Nisa Doraisa, and that's okay. Why? You're about to perform Bris Milah, that's a blazer. Why do you have to have it exposed? Really, there are two reasons. First of all, people should not suspect that you are carrying something else in the bag together with the knife of the bris milah. Once you chaperine, maybe you already put some kugalach and kishkes also. I don't know what else. Yeah, and the other and the main thing, which Gemara is mechadish, there's like a hecher inyan here of chibuv mitzvah. Even if you can just let everybody else know that you're not suspected, it's not enough. You have to have it exposed regardless of the other reason. Why? Because you have to show we love Bris Milah so much, and that's why we break Shabbos. I think the point is that we're not breaking Shabbos. It's not because we don't like Shabbos, because we do like Milah. That's the point. Milah is so dear to us, we're even willing to break Shabbos to show the Chavivus of Milah. And we'll see more about Chavivus of Milah according to Rabbi Lezer. Now, what's enough kamina? Oh, but times of sakana. The times of sakana, you can't show your chavivus mitzvah, you'll end up in jail or dead, chalila. So then you cover it, but before you cover it, you have two edim who watch and see that what you put in the bag is just the milah, just a knife, and they will testify and they will tell everybody else that's interested to know that all there was in the bag or in the cushion, whatever, was just sakin milah, right? Now, okay, Tanya Idach. We are now towards the end of the narrow lines in the page. Tanya Idach. Kuf Lamed Omud Aleph. Kal. It's an easy perek. Kal. Tanya Idach. Another brisa says, Mevio Megule, then Mevio Mechuse, Ein Mevi Oy Mechuse Dever Blazer. Get the story? You have to bring it uncovered and not covered. Why the double lotion? Now we know why. In other words, you have to bring it to Megula. If your idea was just to avoid the chshad, then maybe I can bring it mechuse, and I'll have the two best edim in town, the two biggest tzaddikim, to testify that I'm good. So Megul is just an option. Says the Brisa, no, don't bring it mechuse. You should always make sure, as long as there's no sakana, that people know that this milah to advertise and parade through town with that knife to show how much you love milah. Right? That's why you get two things, right? Avoid the chshad. Moreover, make sure it's always megula. Don't use the edim solution. When do you use the edim solution? Only b'shas sakana, because then there's no choice. You can't show your Jewish pride in public. In shas sakana. Rabbi Yehuda Omer mishum Blazer. Now comes Rabbi Yehuda quoting Rabbi Blazer. Noyag yinawi b'shas sakana shemivin mechutz al pi edim. Makes a lot of sense. This brisa supports the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda is telling us, Shem Blazer, we had a minhag, the time of sakana, that they would bring the knife covered with edim, because once it's just as a kono, you can't expose it, so maybe people would suspect you. Okay, there's plan B. The other solution, have Eidim testifying that you are not Chalila Mechal Shabbos, and all you carry inside is just a knife. Iboilu, here comes a new question regarding the Eidim. When you say Eidim, what exactly do you mean? Eidim de Ka'omar. When the Mishnah says Eidim, does that mean Ihu v'chad? Does it mean he is like an aid? That's interesting. The moyel who carries the meat, the sakin, and one more person, or dilmahu v'trei, or maybe him and two other people. Of course, that makes us think. What do you mean? He is not an aid about himself, right? I promise we'll deal with it. But the Maisa, right now, the question is, what do you mean two? Is it him and really just one aid? Yeah, that's enough to testify that he's not a Mechal Shabbos. Or do you need two aidim to testify about him that everything is okay? Let's see. Toshma, listen to what the Mishnah says. Ubesakono mechaseu al pi edim. By sakono mechase al pi edim. We say the word edim. What does edim always mean? Iyamad bishlemahu vetrei shapir. The word edim means two kosher edim. Him and two other edim, that makes sense, right? Because edim can't be the person himself. It's a nonsense that the goyim invented, by the way, you know that in American courts, right? Like this, yeah, he testifies about himself. Shtuyot, who testify? He can declare or claim, but I testify about myself. Shtus. I testify. Everyone owes me $1 trillion, and I testify I'm the president of the U.S. Shtuyot, Masechet. Ela yamadhu v'chad. But if you're telling me that's just him and another guy, then my edim. In other words, if you're telling me it's the moyel and one more person, that's not edim. That's aid. It's aid. It's one aid, right? In other words, let's now analyze what's going on here. Everybody knows that if you have him and one aid, it's not really aidim. Elamai, Zokt Rashi, I could accept the fact that one aid is good enough. Says Rashi, yeah, I'm jumping the gun with Rashi further, but what Rashi says further applies now also. He says, En kalodinim omenos lodin nefashos. En chanami, one aid is good enough. Really, aidim, me, I'm the moyel, let's say, and you are the aid. We are called aidim, even though we're not really aid. It's one aid. Why is it good? Edechan neman beisurin. Edechan can even be neman to be mate eshes ish sometimes, if you know whatever on the body. Edechan sometimes functions as long as it's not the foshos or mominus. So that alone is not a problem. The problem is the terminology. If the Brisa says Adim and the Mishnah says Adim, then you can't say me. You can call me whatever you want, but you can never call me an aid on myself. So it should have said aid. If it's me and one more guy, that's not aidim. It's me and my one aid. So speak normal. And says the Gemara, no, not necessarily so. It's not proven that there are two aidim besides him just because of the term aidim. Aidim plus the moil. No. Shiruim lo'ed b'mokim acher. Oh, maybe really one aid is good enough. We don't know. We didn't resolve the problem. Maybe Adim really means him and another guy. How can he call the person himself aid? And how can me, the moyel, and one aid can be called Adim? I can be made on myself. They are suitable to be made on something else. Meaning me and the other guy, which is one aid, can be Adim for a different case. We can be Adim on anything else? Kiddushin, Gittin, Retzich, Mominus. What's the story here? I think you're asking, listen to the beautiful words of the Achronim. I don't remember which one, unfortunately, but I actually learned it not so long ago, the Talmud, and we saw the Achronim in the back. Hashem should forgive me, I don't remember who. Maybe the Rashash, I'm not sure. He says very good that it's halachic chiddush. You and I, let's say I'm the moil, I'm the subject, I'm the suspect, and you're the aid. So what do you mean you and I can be made on someone else? It means to say we can't be related. The aid and moel have to be halachically kosher to be made on someone else. Meaning you can't be my brother, you can't be my cousin, whatever, however close aidim can be. We can't be related to each other because people related to each other can be made on yene. That's the idea. Havamina would be, because it's not real edus, it's the general testimony. So maybe even my brother can do it. Maybe brother-in-law, someone. Kamash Malano. Those aidim, that one aid has to be such a person that could, in theory, be made together with me, with the subject. It's a sharp idea. Very nice. V'adam Rabbi Tono bono. What did Rabbi Eliezer say? Rabbi Eliezer said you can do whatever you want, almost. Yeah, any preparation, hechsher, whatever you need to do in order to get the bris milah done on Shabbos can be done. I'll just refresh the memories, especially those who were not with us yesterday online. What did we say? You can cut the wood, right, to make the fire. What's the fire for? To create the night for the Mila. Yeah, that's a ripple effect, a chain reaction 3 times over. You can do it all in order to get the Mila done on Shabbos, right? All the machshirim can be done on Shabbos. Tono bono. Bimkom Shol Belezer, in Reb Lezer's community, Reb Lezer was a more the Asra of a town somewhere in Eretz Yisrael. In his place, hoy kolsin eitzim lasos pechomin lasos basil b'Shabbos. Yes, Yenechanami. In a Lezer's place, people would cut off wood in order to create the coals, in order to make the basil. How could that be true? Let me ask you a question. We know that you can't paskin like, let's say, Bis Shammai. Reb Lezer was one of Bis Shammai's team, and also he was Bechevim in any other halach. How can his community follow his own idea? So the Rishonim say that as long as halacha wasn't paskin like the majority, in his makom people can follow his opinion. As long as it did not become minyan, an official derabbanan decision that we outnumbered Reb Lezer and paskin against him, there are no pachkevilim against him for whatever he says, so he can preserve his opinion vis-a-vis his own community. So there is the musag of Mar de Asr so strong that even if your Rav in your town was outnumbered, you can still follow him, unless it was mamish mutza already that he's out. But as long as that's a chiddush here, so for a while they acted upon what Rabbi Lezer said. Similar story. Wow. There's a Mishnah, I just saw it now this evening. We all know the basar oif b'cholav mideoraisa is allowed. There are different psukim to gdi, chalev, we'll see later. Now, what about the Rabbanon? Everybody knows b'sar oif, chicken with milk with the Rabbanon is also. Maybe it's mutar ba'ano, it's also to eat with the Rabbanon. Now, Rabbi Yosef Glili doesn't hold of that. If you read the Mishnah, I saw it in Chuli now, yeah, Daf Kuf Yud Gimel, Rabbi Yosef Glili is meduyuk in the words, he holds it's mutar, l'chatchila. Rabbi Yosef Glili, don't say this to your wife, she would faint on the spot, right? Of course. Don't do that at home, yeah? According to Yosef Glili, yeah, very nice. Maush can grill together the chicken and the milk and the cheese together, gizun tehid. That's what Rabbi Yosef Glili holds, la halacha, according to Rabbi Yosef Glili. And in his community, that's what they did. They actually followed him la halacha, as long as he wasn't mamish mutza michlal halacha, they still followed him in his place. The Mar de Asra concept still exists. A story, now the Gemara will tell us a story about that. Levi ikla lebe Yosef Rishba. Levi, the Amoiro Levi, he came to the house, he chanced upon the house of Bia Yosef, the bird hunter. The bird hunter. What does the bird hunter serve to eat? Birds. They served him the head of some kind of bird in chelva. Tavta could maybe be tavas, peacock. I don't know, peacock is kosher. Bekitzer, but lemaisa, they served him the head of some kind of bird in milk, cooked with milk. Surprisingly, he declined the delicacy. I'm not sure why. Yeah, he didn't eat it, Levi. And then comes the second chapter of the story. He also made the Rebbe. When Levi came to Rebbe, Amalei, Rebbe told him, Rebbe said, what's going on here? Why don't you put them in Cherem? This is not a cute story. They're not following what Rabbanon said. Why? Because if you don't follow Rabbanon, what do you do to people who are mevazer Rabbanon? Cherem. A person who's mevazer Talmud Chacham has to go to Cherem. So why don't you can't just decline it, oh, I'm sorry, I don't do that. What do you mean? Put them in Cherem. They're going against Gzeres Chazal of Oif B'cholov. Amarle. So Levi is now partially defending that place, that Rishba thing. He said, that place was a place, the the Makoim, under the leadership of Rabbi ben Beseira, Hava, he was, the Amina, I thought to myself, Dilma, I want to be Mako. Maybe, Dorosh Luka Be'esi Glili. Maybe Yehuda ben Beseira follows Rabbi Yossi Aglili, which said what? The Tanan. Rabbi Yossi Aglili Omer. Says Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Neymar, Rabbi Yossi Aglili is coming to explain why B'sar Oif B'cholov is allowed. It says in the Torah in the same pasuk, Lo toichlu kol nevela, and right away, and it says in the same pasuk, V'neymar, Lo yetevashel gdi b'chalev imo. At the end of the pasuk, don't cook a kid in its mother's milk. So what's the smichus? What's the connection? This, the proximity between nevela and basa b'cholov. Et she'osu mushum nevela also lefashel b'cholov. Whatever Isser nevela applies to, you can't cook in cholov, in milk. Meaning, forget about sakona now in the Bechlokes Ashkenazim and Sfardim. Fish, that's a good example. Fish, there's no nevela by fish. You bang it on the head, there's no shchita. The concept of nevela doesn't exist. Give it a nice bang on the head, and want to kill it whichever way you want. I mean, tzar balchaim, just kill it, yeah? And then there's no nevela concept by dog, by fish. And therefore what? Fish with cholav is allowed. Make your adin, Oif, she'osu mishum nevela. If so, chicken, which we all know nevela applies very nice to, but I say chicken, I mean all kinds of birds, yeah? All the fowl, she'osu mishum nevela, yochel yosu levashel b'cholov, then makes sense. It should be also to cook the milk with the oif. Talmud loimer b'chalev imoy, in its mother's milk. Aha, mother's milk. Last time I checked, birds are not mammals. They don't have chalev em. Yotza oif sheno chalav em. The oif has no chalav em. The oif, the chicken, the duck, whatever, all the birds, they don't have chalav em. But chalev imoy te oh. And by the way, how do you know that it's also the rabbanon? If you look at the Mishnah over there, you see that Rabbi Akiva held. Rabbi Akiva said it's mutar min Torah. Rabbi Yossi Aglili's style sounds like it's completely mutar. If you see the Mishnah there, the Bartanura, yeah, this sounds like more mutar l'chatchila mutar. So Mimela, that's okay. Since in that place the minhag was not yet accepted to not eat, to refrain from oif b'cholov, Mimela we know that that's, according to them, it's okay, because they follow the Morda Asra, who follows Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Omar Yitzchak, Ir Achas about Yisrael. More back to Rabbi Lezer and his followers. What did Rabbi Lezer say? Mila is doiche everything. All, not everything, I mean all preparations for Mila. Mila and all its frills, all of accessories of Mila that are necessary for Mila are doiche Shabbos. Omar Yitzchak, Ir Achas Yisrael. There was a city in Eretz Yisrael. Shehoy Oisin Kablezer. They followed Rabbi Lezer, okay. They died in the proper time, not too early. They did not die before their time. Yeah, in other words, that is schar of Arichos Yomim. Yeah, because they loved Mila so much, right? Yeah, they never died before 70, 80, right? Something like that. Not only that, there was one time Malchus Rasho, the wicked kingdom, you know who that is? Rome, always. Malchus Rasho, the Rome, they were the worst people. Apologize for the again mishap with the Zoom. Okay, so again, says Rabbi Yitzchak, Omar Yitzchak. Ir achas oiso be'Eretz Yisrael. There was a town in Eretz Yisrael. She oisin kablezer. They followed Rabbi Lezer and they did like his psak. They followed his psak. They would do bris milah on Shabbos and all the preparations too. They died not too early. They lived, the longevity that Hashem planned for them. Not only that, there was a gzera of Rome, the wicked kingdom. They made a gzera al Yisrael not to have bris milah, and I guess whoever would have bris milah would have to die. On that town, the gzera somehow miraculously they didn't do the gzera. Yeah, the gzera did not apply to that city, to that town. Why? Because they loved milah so much. There's a yesod by the Netzi, but I saw it actually in the Rishonim recently that every person should have a mitzvah that is like his special mitzvah. You all have to keep all mitzvahs, yeah? But I guess it goes by individuals, by cities. Sometimes the community they adhere to one mitzvah more especially. So Hashem gives them siyata d'ishmaya in that tchum, in that area. Here we see the same thing. Tanya, more agadita about liking mitzvahs or chalila otherwise. Tanya, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Omer, kol mitzvah shekibel alem besimcha. Any mitzvah that Klal Yisrael accepted upon themselves besimcha, kigon mila. Mila is a mitzvah that Bnei Yisrael accepted upon themselves with joy, with happiness. How do you know that they accepted it with happiness, with joy? So dichtiv, it says by David HaMelech, Sas anochi alim rosecha kemoitze sholol rav. I'm happy, I'm sas. Sas is very active simcha. Yeah, I'm actively happy. Yeah, al im rosecha because of your utterance, what you say, you're saying, Hashem, as if I find a great treasure. How do you know it's to do with bris milah? Look at Rashi. Sas anochi alim rosecha. Rashi is nearby. Amira yechida shekodmel shar amirois. Vehi mila shisol oisin v'sosim olea. Yeah? Rashi says two things. How do you know imosecha is mila? Imosecha means your mitzvah. Which one? There are billions. There are 613 mitzvahs. But the one mitzvah which preceded historically all other mitzvahs is mila. What about prurvu? Prurvu wasn't given to a yid. It was given to Adam Rishon. It's more of a universal concept. Mashe'en ken mila is something given to the father of our nation. It's the first mitzvah before Gidanosha to Yaakov, right? And therefore, Mila is the one before anybody else came. Why are we so happy about Bris Mila? What's the big deal about Bris Mila more than Tefillin, Tzitzis? Continues Rashi. The culture of mitzvahs ena called show. All other mitzvahs don't show. Yeah, they don't make it evident that you're Jewish all the time. Kigon Tefillin umezuzah v'tzitzis. They didn't shuvasode, right? When you're in the field, you don't have your tefillin, tzitzis, or mezuzah. When you're naked in the mikveh, there's no tefillin, no tzitzis, no mezuzah. How do you feel Jewish? What makes you feel Jewish? But the bris milah is a constant edus, constant testimony all the time, engraved in your body that you are Jewish. David himself, he's the one who wrote that pasuk, right? What did David get so excited and so happy about? He saw himself in the Beis Merchatz when it's time. Look at me. I'm naked in the Beis Merchatz. I don't have any mitzvah to do. And you can't think in learning either, right? Once you looked at the milah, you shouldn't look at your own milah for too long, but he saw the milah. He said, oh, I have the milah. I'm happy that I'm Jewish 24/7, and I look Jewish 24/7. It's true. It's true. It's beautiful what you're saying. That shows us David HaMelech's high dark, who nowadays thinks like that. Maybe some people, right? It's a darga to Bechlal wanting to feel Jewish so much all the time, right? Very, very nice. But David HaMelech was David HaMelech. He was the fourth leg of the Merkava, and that's the way he thought. Very, very nice. But let's continue the sentence. So this mitzvah was accepted in besimcha. Adain oisin oisu besimcha. Even nowadays, oisin mishte. Everyone who makes a bris makes a mishte. There's always simcha by bris milah, and also it's a miracle that Baruch Hashem, with all the anti-religious and all, most, sadly not all, most secular people, at least in Israel, or people who know that they're Jewish, they do some kind of bris milah, which is l'chora very painful, very chalila. They say it's barbaric. They still do it. What? True. Mezuzah is very common too. There are certain mitzvahs, but milah is still done, even though mezuzah doesn't look not nice. Milah doesn't look politically correct today, and it's still done. The whole mitzvah shekibla lemektata. On the other hand, here we come with the negative side. If there's a mitzvah and there was a mitzvah which they accepted miktata with fighting unwillingly, they're like reluctantly they accepted the mitzvah. Kigon arayes. What do you mean? When Hashem told them, listen, people, you can't marry your sister, your daughter. For us, it sounds crazy to marry, right? Such a thing. But apparently they didn't like the fact, or even an aunt. Maybe he likes his aunt. Why not, right? I'm asking you a question. An uncle can marry his niece, yes. A nephew cannot marry the aunt. Well, maybe the guy, his aunt is more or less his age, Haredi family, right? That can happen. A good shidduch. And yet Hashem said, no, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. When Moshe Rabbeinu introduced them to that, look, Dichtiv, look weiter. Dichtiv vayishma Moshe Sam boichel lemishpachoisov. Moshe Rabbeinu heard the nation, the people, crying. The pasuk shot of the pasuk, each family cried on their own. But the drasha is al iske mishpachoisov. Why did they cry? They didn't like the fact that the family structure became different. Yeah, what's this new frumkeit? He doesn't allow us, Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem doesn't allow us to marry my aunt or maybe, I don't know, sister, whatever, yeah? Mechitesi. Adai noisi noisa bektoto. Because it started off, when it started, it was off key. They didn't start with the right foot, with the left foot. The acceptance of the way Jewish marriage should be, only with somebody not related, and the whole thing. So till today, a chasana is always with a fight. The leka ksuba, the lo ramu batiga. There's no ksuba that does not involve some kind of fight, some kind of misunderstanding. The women have I'm sorry, the color scheme, all that, whatever. They saw that whole, you promised $1 million, you only give three-quarters million, yeah, v'chule, v'chule. In America, it goes by what support. You're going to support my son 10 years, why do you support him 10? V'chule, v'chule. The kids are fighting between mechutonim is not a new thing. So basically, why is that so? That's why. Yeah, there's a reason for it. It's not stam. There are two balamidas, amazing people, and somehow the chasana is awkward. Why? Because it starts from our forefathers, our ancestors, when they accepted the concept of the way Jewish marriage should be, they didn't like it until today. Because they wanted to marry whoever they wanted. Why tell me to marry the girl from the shidduch? I want to marry my aunt. Well, I don't like it. They cried about it. But because the whole marriage concept, the way it's supposed to be, they didn't accept it happily. So till today, there's always an issue. The chasana. I heard of people, actually I heard twice, there are people who do get along very nicely with chotonim, and then they invent a fight. They kill them. You've heard of that? They fake it. One of them chotonim goes, I don't, and they're yoitze. So they say, now we're yoitze the klala, so nothing worse should happen. So there shouldn't be a real fight. Baruch Hashem. Mikam Chayisrael. Maybe that's why they're breaking the plate. It's not the reason. I know it's not the reason. I'm inventing it now. Breaking the plate, maybe, I'm breaking. Tanya Here comes the whole new maise. And today, if we have time, we're going to see the Ran. The Ran in Daf Mem Tes. Tanya, Kol mitzvah shemosu Yisrael le'atzman aleim lemisa. Any mitzvah that Israel were willing to give themselves, to death, they were moist nefesh and were willing to die. Ishaz gzeres malchus. Higoin avodas kochavim the mila. Avodas kochavim and mila. Even when Goyim told them you have to bow down to the getchke or don't do bris mila, the Jews said, Araman, I'll jump into the fire. Inquisition. They burnt them in horrible isurim, and they didn't bow down to they didn't kiss the cross or bris mila. Till today, it's true. Avodas kochavim, even chilonim, I heard many times, they don't like the idea of bowing down to the pesel. Why? They have some kind of aversion. They go to the Far East. They do a lot of shtriot, but to mamish bow down to a getchke, even if the Indian hosts tell them, I've heard stories. No, that I don't do. All the other shtriot in the world, but to bow down to the Buddha, I'm sorry to say the name. Why? Now we know why. Because the Zaidi of Yaron was Moiser Nefesh, so now Yaron, in his trip to Thailand, is not exactly happy to bow down to the golden statue. However, the whole mitzvah shaloi, what? Shtichus Dam is understandable because it's universal values. But to bow down to the Getchka, what do you care? Well, why not? Nothing. That's a chiddush. The chiddush is mitzvahs that are not understood by human logic. V'chol mitzvah shalom osol atzman elamisa yishaz gzeras malchus. However, the negative side, a mitzvah which Klal Yisrael was not moiser nefesh when there was exer against this mitzvah, kigoin. Now we throw a bomb. Tefillin. Adayin merupa biyodom. Wow. Till today, tefillin apparently is the mitzvah not so popular. I think today it's gaining popularity, Baruch Hashem, but used to be not so popular. Today, the people who work to improve the situation. But tefillin, because Bnei Yisrael did not really fight tooth and nail to be Mekayim tefillin in times of danger, therefore tefillin till today. But I think today is a bit better. Tosfos, you remember this Gemara, by the way, the Gemara we're about to see now appears word for word almost in Daf Mem Tes with Elisha Bal Knafayim. And there Tosa says that in his days there were people who did not put on tefillin. You should know that even today, although we're going to discuss we're going to discuss it soon, Baruch Hashem will put on tefillin, but we only do it 1 hour a day in Shachris. Me'ikar din, yeah, you should really be shomer yourself and make sure you don't make sure that your body is clean enough to wear tefillin the whole day. I'm not chas v'shalom mekatreg, but the fact that we only wear tefillin Shachris and the whole day we don't is not the ideal thing. It's not ideal. So Baruch Hashem people wear tefillin. I mean, first of all, many chilonim don't. But even the frum people, most of us, we don't wear tefillin as much as we could maybe. And apparently people told me that when you have some free time in the afternoon, why do you wear tefillin? Yeah, it's a good thing to do. In any event, let's see now what was that story which demonstrated lack of Mesiras Nefesh in the area of tefillin. I don't know if we'll finish all thing today because here we have a little bit of Eid today. We're going to see Ran today. Tefillin, maybe tomorrow, I think David and Akiva, maybe I'll start giving my Mekonos, no? So you can prepare the Rishonim. Bli neder. Tefillin tzrichin guf noki kelisha bal knafayim. Rabbi said, when you want to wear tefillin, make sure your body is as clean as Elisha Bal Knafayim. Elisha Bal Knafayim, which we're going to meet soon, was the paradigm. He was the ace. He was the champion of tefillin, right? So it seems. And he also made sure whenever he wore tefillin that his body is 100% clean. Frank the Gemara, Mahi, what do you mean by clean body? Exactly, can you give me the Gdarim? What, I don't have mud on my face? What do you mean? Amar Abaye, Shelo Yafiach Behem. I saw the Ritva in Daf Memtes, and he gives a very, very good explanation. That's for sure that you have to put on tefillin bisman tefillah, right? As we are knowing, Baruch Hashem. However, for that 45 minutes of shachris or whatever, you can surely make sure your body is clean. What's a clean body? You're not going to pass air, to pass gas, from behind. So that's not even a question. The question is, let's say a guy comes to you and says, I want to put tefillin the whole day, like Zilberman people, in the old city, or maybe other groups. Did we just say a minute ago that putting tefillin all day long is good? Oh, say by and Rava, yes and no. In order to get to that darga of wearing tefillin the whole day, you have to make sure shelo yafiach beim. What does that mean? You have to make sure that you have enough physical self-control, says Abaye, that if you feel that the gas is coming and is about to come out, you control yourself, you take off the tefillin, and then you pass air. That's what Abai says. Only a person like that could put on tefillin all day long. Yeah, you have to be in the matzav to have, because some people, unfortunately, they're too old, too weak. They can't do it, so don't put tefillin all day. That's what we don't. Rave Omar no. Shelo yishan behem. What does that mean? It says Rave like this. Rave says that's not a big deal. In other words, we can assume that every Tom, Dick, and Harry can hold themselves from passing air. That's not what it's true, but it's pashut. The chiddush is make sure that throughout the day. Imagine yourself wearing tefillin all day long. Don't you get tired in the middle of the day? You sit by the Gemara, you sit by the computer, you sit by the wherever, and you doze off, right? Oh, that's a problem. Says Rove, as long as I'm awake and I know that's not a chiddush to control my bowel movements, whatever. But to control myself not to doze off, what's going to happen when you doze off? You'll pass air, right? Says Rove, I acquire a higher level, yeah? Shelo yishan behem. Okay. That's very nice. So we know there's this chosh of a person that maintain his body always clean. Why is it called Baal Knafayim? What do wings have to do with that? Elisha, the master of the wings. Which wings? God Malchus Osho Gzer al Yisrael. The Malchus Osho again, Yimach Shema v'Zichron of the Romans. You know who are those who continue Rome or Italy, Germany, America? Yeah, they're goes with Gzer al Yisrael. Shekol Amnich Tefillin Roishoy. Whoever puts on tefillin on his head, Mida Keneged Mida Yikos Moicho. Lo Aleinu. They will mamish. Yeah, they will perforate his head. Lo Aleinu. They'll mamish make a hole in his head. Ve'hoy Elisha Maniach Tefillin ve'yotzel Ashuk. Wow, Elisha, the brave man, put on tefillin and went out to the market, to the street, wearing tefillin. Whoa. V'ra'au kasdo echad. Opa. He was caught by the kasdo. He was caught by the policeman, which did not like the fact that he's wearing tefillin. Ratz milofonov. Elisha then ran away from him. V'ratz achov. The Roman kasdo, the policeman, the anti-religion warden, he ran after him. He chased him. Kevin Shegia Etzloi. Eventually, the policeman, quicker than him, reached him. Notlan Meroisha. Elisha quickly took them off his head, and held them in the palms of his hand like that, closed. Omerle, the policeman asked him, Ma beyodcha? Sir, will you open your hands, please? What's over there in your hands? Omerlo, he told him, Kanfeyoino. He invented, there's a reason why I said Kanfeyoino. You know what I have inside? I have the wings of a dove, the wings of the dove. Poshet is yodo. You open his hands, v'nimtzu ba'kanfeyoino, and really the wings of the dove was there. Hashem worked a miracle for him. Why did Hashem do a miracle for him? If you're moisa nefesh, Hashem works miracles for you. They would call him Baal Knafayim. He gained that title for a good reason. Now continues the Gemara, Maishna Kanfeyoino, Doberle, Volomala Shar Oifois. If he Dafka wants to come up with the idea of a bird, why Dafka Dav? Why is the dove the bird that came up to the mind of Elisha, the master of Tefillin? Mishum the Dame Knesset Yisrael yoino. Knesset Yisrael are similar to a dove. Why? Shenema, it says in the pasuk, Kanfe yoino nechpa bekesef. The kanfe yoino are covered or plated with kesef, with silver. Ve'evroseo birakrak chorutz. And evroseo is also Aver is no is also no the wing. So I'm not sure what the difference between Knafayim and Evra, but Evra is also a wing. Rakrak chorutz. I'm not sure what rakrak chorutz is, and I always come to this pasuk. Rakrak chorutz is some kind of other nice metal. What's a nimshal? Ma yoina zuk nefem migina saleo. Afisol mitzvos migina salein. Just like the yoina fights with the wings and not with the beak. That's what Rashi says. Yeah? So to Israel are protected by the mitzvahs. In other words, the yoina has something nice and fluffy called what? Wings. And it has the beak. Most birds, how do they fight? With a beak. Most people, how do they fight? With a gun. We don't have to fight with a gun. We fight with the Torah, with the mitzvahs. So at least knew that we are protected by our mitzvahs, and that brought about the nates from Hashem. The mitzvah should protect him. I'm leaving you now with a very, very strong question asked by the Ritva Rash. All the Rishonim ask. I'm going to create one question combining a few Rishonim, and that's how we're going to start tomorrow's shir. Please daven to Hashem. That will be well to give shir tomorrow. Akiva ben Nechoma. Please daven tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a good shir. My question is like this. First of all, we're saying that Bnei Israel were not Moser Nefesh, and then you bring me a story which is Moser Nefesh. That's the first question. Rashi and Tosfos answer different ways. Rashi says that Loi Mosua Ela Elisha Levadoi. If Elisha, he's the one who's more Moser Nefesh or Tefillin. Sounds like 99% of people were not. But did not put on Tefillin. Bad news. Tosfos says something even more intriguing, and that's what brings about the question of the Rishonim, which we're going to deal with soon. Ooh, Elisha, I'm asking a question on Elisha. I'm saying, Bekovet, make up your mind. At the beginning, Elisha was more than he's going out to the street. He doesn't care about the Romans. Yeah, I've read tefillin. I'm a proud Jew. And then when the Kasder came, why didn't he say, yes, these are tefillin, kill me? Says Tosfos it was a chesaron. Tosfos says there was a problem. You should have gone all the way. And when the guy told you, what is this? Wear it and say, I put on tefillin in spite of what you say. And that's why we say tefillin, we're not Moser Nefesh. But most Rishonim do have an explanation about Elisha. Again, the question is as follows: if Elisha holds that tefillin should be worn by Hukum Kruk, which that's why he walked out like that to the street, so go all the way and face the guy with your tefillin on. And if you believe that tefillin, from some reason, you don't wear them in Shas Hakono, so why did you wear them in the street? So there are three answers in the Rishonim to be continued. Cliffhanger. I really, really, really hope to be here tomorrow. Please daven for me. You too, Akiva ben Nechama, everybody online, please daven. I'm asking everybody online, Akiva ben Nechama, Refuah Shleima, I'm called in this. Okay, Akiva ben Nechama, I'll be able to give good cheer, and then on Thursday. Atzlacha bracha to everybody and everything. Thank you to Mamlo Ez. Yes, Akiva, what's your question?